When I saw him standing there, I was like, he's kind of cute. But also I had a little bit of gin and tonic. If I go to the mall and I'm with him, like, oh, can you get me one of those? As if you get them from the supermarket. We almost lost our daughter when I was pregnant. We met in 2015, February, on Valentine's Day. I was staying in Braamfontein and I was studying in Wits University. And I saw him in a bar. And I shot my shot and here we are. And then I gave him my numbers and I told him, call me. And then he did. He came to Bram every single day from that day.
I think I also approached, because by that time I was not so shy. I spent time in South Africa already 1 year, so I was a bit used to... I think I fell in love from the first time.
Really? Aww.
Yeah.
For me, it was more, he was like a male version of myself. Someone that I can have fun with, laugh with. And I was like, oh, this guy, Our personalities are very similar and positive also, because life can be hectic and it's always nice to go through life with someone who sees the positive side of it. And now I meet this guy, he's really, really nice. I want to be with him, but maybe it's not the right time. Maybe in 2 years or in a year, or we decided that, okay, let's just break up. And I realized that he realized that.
Yeah.
Hey, I really want to be, I'm miserable. I want to be with this person. And when we got back together, it was...
perfect, yeah.
Yeah. There's not a day that I will question that, does he love me? He shows his love and affection, even to the kids. Because he's very consistent. He's always there.
You've got more highs and lows than the men usually. What I like about her is that she's very chill, very settled always. Sometimes she might go suddenly, these days, and she goes, but then she comes back. The next day she's like, yeah, Benat, sorry. I think that's the best for a family life or couple life. What I like less, all these romantic things that she requests me. My parents, they didn't even have a wedding. They never give flowers to each other. They never did anything, nothing romantic. I met this one and she's all about romance. I'm trying my best, but yeah.
What I love most about our relationship is the laughter. We're super, super simple.
What I like is that we are positive. Yeah, we like to be happy. They always say the glass is half, depends how you see this, half empty or half full. So we like to see it half full, always. We come from different backgrounds, different culture. But surprisingly, it didn't add any difficulty.
Palesa and Benat chose to break from tradition, and the reactions from their inner circle took them by surprise.
I think her mom was very, very advanced to her time.
I was born in Tanzania, but I was adopted by a South African who married my mom when I was young, and we came to South Africa post-apartheid. So he went into exile, and when he fell in love with my mom, we moved to Meadowlands. And also being raised in South Africa from Tanzania, you lose most of the cultures because you're in a different society. And also I'm a feminist. So in terms of lobola, I wanted him to be my equal. So I didn't believe in part of that. And my mom also, being an African woman, a black woman in society, she had difficulties growing up, especially seeing how men can dominate in your household because of certain beliefs and cultures that it's not for us. When I said, hey mom, I don't want to participate in this and this, and for her to accept it, she said, I hear you and it's okay, and I can see that you're very happy.
Then, Palesa visited Spain with her husband.
They were happy to have someone different. It was quite shocking.
Yeah.
We didn't even realize, but then after being there after 1 year or 2 years, seeing other experiences, other people, like maybe people are racist, and suddenly ours is like the opposite. Everyone is welcoming, they appreciate someone different.
Yes.
We spend so much time in Spain, in the Basque Country, with our family and friends. That's why we keep going.
I feel like I'm one of them. And for my mother-in-law, I feel like I'm her daughter. She comes, she visits, She's hands-on. She's very loving with me and the kids. So I never felt, even my father-in-law, the same. And for him also with my mom and my dad, he never felt any type of weight.
Always respected.
Yeah.
Even your dad coming from the exile.
From exile. We never thought of it until some days when we sat and we're like, hey, he accepts him because he's from the struggle, and that was shocking for us.
Their wedding was not as easy as they imagined it to be.
Oh, when planning our wedding, we didn't have any culture clashes because we went to the Home Affairs to sign. I was at work and he was at work. And then I asked one of my work colleagues to come with me to Home Affairs. We went there, we signed. And the reason why we signed is because at that time, we didn't have a house and we didn't have a car. So we decided that instead of getting a wedding, which is something for one day, rather we invest in buying ourselves a home and a family car. And then we don't have to owe anybody. My parents supported it. They were like, okay, if you're putting it in a home for you guys, then it makes sense. But the signing thing was difficult at the beginning because at first they looked at him and they were like, oh, you're a foreigner. But then they redirected from him to me. My dad, on my birth certificate, it says Stephen Buswe, who is a Tswana man in South Africa. They looked at me, I had to prove my citizenship rather than him. So he was more like, oh, and it was all on me.
But then we had to do an exam as well in Home Affairs to see if we spend time together.
It worked out in the end. For me, I never got a backlash. Mostly I got like, wow, yo, kumnandi ne? Yeah, if I go to the mall and I'm with him, like, oh, can you get me one of those? As if you get them from the supermarket. Those are the comments that I get.
We never got any
surprisingly
bad comments, even in Spain.
Maybe they are gossiping about
and
us.
We traveled to Portugal, we traveled to different places, but never. I can't remember a situation where it was awkward.
They were faced the realities of an interracial relationship in one of the most harshest ways.
Yeah, but I do feel his whiteness when important things come, like we need to get a house. If he sets up the meeting versus if I set up the meeting, most likely they'll say, oh, we are full, or there are no houses, we'll call you. And then when he calls immediately, oh, we're even available today if you want to. When he calls the schools, it's immediately. Or when I go give birth, for me, because the rate of Black women dying through labor is much, much higher. And we saw that at some point when we almost lost our daughter when I was pregnant. And I was there waiting. As soon as he arrived, they attended to me, and this is a private hospital. So I always tell him, when I'm giving birth to the kids, you need to be there. You need to ask the doctors questions, because that's my biggest fear, because I know a lot of Black women face this reality where they might not come out through labor because they feel that we can endure pain much, much more than the other. Twice I've heard my daughter coming home and saying, someone said, you are brown. That was also one of my biggest things, to raise my kids in South Africa. And I didn't want my kids to start feeling insecure about themselves. And it was very important for them to be in South Africa where they can see different shades of brown or black or white, and so that they can feel more normal. The least favorite part about his white side, being serious about serious things. Because like I said, I'm nonchalant, like, hey, that also comes with the negative, because then if you have to do paperwork and you're like, I'll do it in the last minute, they must be done, they must be punctual. And what I don't like is the panic. Sometimes I feel like I might turn into ukere. I'm just, cruising through life. And then he's like, this needs to get fixed.
On the Black side, Black people are like happier. They go through so many struggles, so many issues, but they're still happy.
What I would say to someone who's in an interracial relationship or who has doubts, it's a normal relationship like any other relationship. It's got problems like any other relationship. It's all about the person, the personality, the person's ethics and morals, more than the race. Different
cultures most of the time adds difficulties, because you inherit different point of views. To focus on the person. If the person is good, he's got good values, then it should be fine.